afternoon. Good afternoon. Pretty awesome. So my name is Manu. I lead Xiaomi's business in India and super excited to be here today. Today is probably the biggest and the most anticipated mobile phone launch of the year. And I'm pretty sure we're going to give you a lot of surprises. And when we were planning this day, we said we have to ensure everybody who wants to attend should be able to attend this launch event. So this is our biggest launch event for last 3 years. We have a big stadium. We have about 1,500 people here in the room. And we have probably few tens of thousands or few lakh people watching us live right now. Here in the stadium, we have about 1,000 Mi fans. All our Mi fans, give me a shout. We have few hundred of our partners, and we have few hundred media colleagues. So thank you so much, guys, for joining in today. Especially our Mi fans. I know many of you have traveled a long distance to join us today. And you'll be surprised to know all our Mi fans who are present in here, they've contributed 480 rupees each. Why 480? 48 megapixel, right? So each of our fans have contributed 480 rupees each to join this event. So 1,000 Mi fans into 480, about 5 lakh rupees. So I'm happy to share that we're taking this money. Thank you. So we're taking this money and we're contributing this to Bharat Ke Veer, which is an organization for our soldiers, and especially for the families of soldiers who died during the tragic terrorist attack. This is in addition to the 2 crore rupees that Xiaomi India contributed to the same contribution. So thank you so much, guys, for being part of this special thing today. So let's start the show. I'll start by telling a little bit about Xiaomi. So, of course, you guys know this, innovation for everyone, which means we really want to launch great quality, amazing innovative products and make them accessible so that everybody can enjoy technology. And this has worked really well in India. If you look at last few years, we have probably become the most loved technology brand in the country. And I'm using my words very carefully, the most loved technology brand. You know why? Because we are now #1 across multiple categories. We're #1 in smartphones, #1 in smart TVs, #1 in wearables, and #1 in power banks. So thank you so much, guys, for giving us all the love. Within the smartphone category, we have now been the #1 brand for 6 consecutive quarters. We became #1 in Q3 2017. And since then, every single quarter, we have been the #1 brand. In fact, if you look at the IDC report for the year 2018, the entire calendar year 2018, we were #1 with about 28.9% market share. As per IDC, we shipped about 41 million units. But what is most surprising is we grew at a whopping 58.6% year on year from 2017 to 2018. Thank you. And this is incredible because amongst the top 5 brands, we were probably the fastest growing brand even at this scale. And the gap between us and the second brand has been increasing quarter on quarter. If you look at just the Q4 numbers, Q4 2018, we were again at 28.9% market share. The second largest brand, Samsung, was at about 18.7% market share. Sorry, so a 10% gap. And all other brands were below 10%. And if you look at the absolute shipment between us and the second largest brand, which is Samsung, as per IDC, Samsung shipped about 6.8 million units in Q4, and we did about 10.5. So a 54% gap between Xiaomi and the second largest brand in the country. Thank you. And one of the big reasons for success for all of us have been our journey in offline. Offline is a journey that we just started about 1.5 years ago. And today we have grown from less than 1% market share 1.5 years ago to more than 20% market share in just a short period of 18 months. So a big shout out to all our 5,000 plus Me Preferred partners who have helped us achieve this. Thank you. I see a lot of our offline partners over here. And then in the online segment, which is where we started, of course, we continue to remain a very dominant brand. We're number one for 9 consecutive quarters. And not just this, we continue to have a 50% market share, which is incredible, because if you look at the entire year, if there were 2 people who bought a phone online, 1 out of 2 were Xiaomi customers. And we were about 6 to 7 times bigger than the second, third, and fourth largest brands within the online segment. Now, a lot of products are loved by all of you guys, and one special product that we're really proud of is our Redmi Note series. Now, this is one series which has really redefined the mid-premium segment in India. In the year 2014, we launched Redmi Note 4G. That was the first affordable 4G phone in the country. A dual-band 4G phone, which was supporting both the bands and was priced under 10,000 rupees. Then Redmi Note 3, the global debut of 650. Redmi Note 4 introduced 625, our favorite processor. And of course, last year, we introduced Redmi Note 5 Pro, the global debut of Snapdragon 636. And we know all of you guys, the entire country loves Redmi Note. You know why? You can see it in the numbers. Again, IDC numbers, and you can see how Redmi Note shipments have increased year on year. If you just count the Redmi Note series in 1 year, we shipped more than 12 million phones in 1 calendar year in this series. Now, 12 million is a pretty big number. If Redmi Note was an independent brand, it would probably be the 3rd or the 4th largest brand in India right now. Now, we have compared this with some of the largest brands in the country, and you'll be surprised that Redmi Note is bigger than 3 or 4 brands combined together. If you combine Realme, Honor, Huawei, and Asus, just Redmi Note. Thank you. Just Redmi Note is bigger than all 4 brands put together in the country. And this is possible because all of you guys are Mi fans, you give us feedback. Whenever we're planning to launch a product, we take feedback from you guys. Now, this is a Mi fan meet that we did in Bangalore a few weeks ago. The phone that I'm having in my hand is a Redmi Note 7. We showcased it to some of you guys, took active feedback, and I'm happy to share that we're incorporating a lot of that feedback in today's launch. We also did a social media post just yesterday asking you guys, how many surprises do we have for all of you guys? Any guesses? Okay, how many people think we'll have 3 surprises? No. How many people think 4? 4. Okay. How many? 5? Okay. So we'll not disappoint you. We will have 5 surprises for all the people sitting here in this room. So stay tuned. We'll take about 1.5 hours. A lot of really cool things planned. What do you think will be the first surprise? Sorry, I cannot hear you. Okay, so the first surprise, and probably the biggest surprise, is that we are launching Redmi Note 7 Pro. And this is the global debut of this phone here in India right now. The phone that we are about to launch has not been launched anywhere in the world. So, and to talk about this, I'll call on stage somebody who is more handsome than me, Mr. Tom Cruise. Can I get on stage Mr. Anuj Sharma, the head of marketing for Xiaomi India?
My main man, Manu. Thank you. And a warm welcome to all our partners, our media colleagues, and of course, all our fans. Welcome to the launch of the Redmi Note 7 Pro. Now, it's a great privilege for me to be here to introduce to you something which I think fundamentally will change the industry forever. It's a landmark product. And not just that, with the Redmi Note 7 Pro, we are bringing in a massive 48 megapixel camera beast. It's not just that. The Redmi Note 7 Pro redefines design, takes performance to the very next level, and of course, you've got an amazing flagship camera. Frankly, it's amazing what a phone at a truly honest price can do. Let's get into the first part straight away, design. And with the Redmi Note 7 Pro, we have gone grounds up and completely changed our design philosophy. And to look at that design philosophy, I'll play a video. Just take a look.
This is where it all began. The first Redmi Note ever created. The beginning of a path-breaking legacy in the world of smartphones. A legacy that has exceeded expectations with every successor and refined and reinvented itself time and again. When we started designing the Redmi Note 7 series, we wanted to take this legacy to the next level. The device has been crafted with the aim of a premium design and aesthetic. We wanted to provide an experience so immersive that it truly wows the user, all along ensuring no compromise on the functional features that our fans have always adored. And that is what led us to the Aura design philosophy. The impact of Aura design is clear at first glance. The symmetric, seamless design draws your attention immediately. In your hand, the new Note feels premium and ergonomically designed, truly a class apart. And that's not all. We've carefully crafted the bezel, the notch, and the overall user experience to ensure that the new Note immerses you deeply into every experience that you desire. What really makes the new Redmi Note an excellent device is its functional design. We've ensured that no small accidents, spills, or drops will ever degrade the quality and performance of your premium device. And of course, we've retained all the practical features that you've always loved. So get ready for the best Redmi Note yet with the all-new Aura design. Xiaomi.
So with the Redmi Note 7 Pro, we are bringing in an all-new Aura design. As you saw, the Aura design philosophy is a factor of three things. We are giving an incredibly immersive experience. There's a lot of attention to detail, and we are doing all of this, making a beautiful device without compromising on the functionality. Something that our Mi fans have always loved. Moving into the immersive experience. For the first time ever on a Redmi Note, we are using a 19.5:9 dot notch display. Now this is a full HD display that takes brightness and contrast levels to a whole new level. But what I want you to look at is that we also have used the most expensive LCD technology available today, the LTPS in-cell screen. Now this is incredibly important because the LTPS in-cell screen uses less power and also generates less heat. And with that, we are able to push this all the way to the edges to give you a bezel that's narrower than ever before, at just 1.95 mm. It's a true engineering marvel. And with this new aspect ratio and smaller bezels, what we've been able to do is with the Redmi Note 7 Pro, in almost the same footprint as the Redmi Note 5 Pro and the Note 6 Pro, we're giving a larger display. Now it's a 6.3-inch display. Not just that, with the Note 7 Pro, we have retained and in some cases reintroduced some of our fan favorites. We have the sunlight display. When you go out, the Redmi Note 7 Pro screen enhances brightness, improves the overall contrast, and even to give you a more natural image, adjusts the color saturation. So when you are outside in bright sunlight, it's still a comfortable viewing experience. And talking about a comfortable viewing experience, if it's low light, we also have a reading mode. And this has been certified by TUV, where it cuts off the blue light, improves the overall readability, reduces eye strain, so that when you get that last game or the last kill before that night, you still aren't really stressing your eyes. And along with the display, along with the entire immersive nature, is the craftsmanship. On the Redmi Note 7 Pro, for the first time, we have a 2.5D curved glass, and not just in the front, but the back as well. And this is incredibly important because this curvature that you get both in the front and the back seamlessly blends in with the frame, giving you this perfect unibody experience. The hand feel on the Note 7 Pro is absolutely amazing. It's something that you do not expect from a device like this. What's also interesting is, and some of the Mi fans I'm sure will notice this later, is the flash actually is underneath the glass. It's that seamless overall design. Amazing attention to detail. And talking about more attention to detail, we also are introducing for the first time a gradient finish. Now this is 6 layers coming together to give you this incredible finish. It's absolutely gorgeous and it comes in multiple colors. Let's take a look at the first one. Now that's the Neptune blue. Now it looks absolutely amazing with the entire gradient finish coming in. Another angle for the Neptune blue, and you can absorb this more. It is a really good device. One more angle for Note 7 Pro's Neptune blue color. Now not just that, we've taken the gradient finish to another level, and we also have the nebula red. Looks absolutely stunning, almost from all angles that you look at it. And again, you can see the frame is matching with the entire gradient finish. It is an outstanding looking device. Another angle. Now these are the 2 gradient finishes that we've got. What happens if you have someone in your team, someone who's a little more conservative, someone like probably Manu? For him, these colors are a bit too much. He said it's for the younger people. I do like the blue. For those people, actually not, it's actually a really good color. We are also getting the classic space black. And this is a black that you've never seen before. It's absolutely stunning. It looks classy, as well as it gives you this entire vibrance that you expect from the Note 7 Pro. Another angle for the space black, and here are all 3 colors in the same frame. Absolutely stunning, and I must commend our engineering team for doing an excellent job. Now these are renders, but what happens is, if when you see this device in person, when you hold it, how does that look? So we've taken a couple of shots of the phone. Now the next few images are not renders, these are actually photographs of the real device, just to show you how good this actually looks. The Neptune blue, by the way, the color name is also really awesome, as good as the Note 7 Pro. The nebula red. Now these devices look absolutely stunning in real life. And of course, after this, we should get an idea and we should get a chance to feel these. And of course, the classic black. Now, not just a good looking device, the Note 7 Pro also takes this entire build to the very next level. Both at the front and the back, we are introducing Corning's Gorilla Glass 5. And talking about being a very practical device, we are also introducing a Type-C port for the first time on the Note series. And of course, jack is back. We never got rid of it. Now there's one more feature which the Mi fans love and none of the other brands have ever provided. Absolutely, only the Mi fans know this. So with the IR blaster, and almost all our Redmi Note devices have had this, you can turn your Redmi Note 7 Pro into a universal remote. You can control thousands of devices, TVs, set-top boxes, game consoles, fans, pretty much everything that uses IR technology. It's something that our fans have absolutely loved, and we are not giving up on that. So, to sum it up, from a design perspective, I'm sure you guys are loving what you saw. The Aura design, an all-new philosophy. You've got an immersive 6.3-inch dot-notch display with an all-new aspect ratio of 19.5:9. You have a LTPS in-cell screen. Again, improved thermals, improved battery efficiency. You're pushing it all the way to the edges, smaller bezels. You've got a Corning Gorilla Glass 5, both at the front and the back. It's a 2.5D glass that merges in with the frame. And of course, that beautiful 6-layer gradient finish. And it's still a Redmi Note. It is as practical as ever before. It's got the headphone jack. It's still got the IR remote control. And the all-new Type-C. Now moving to the next section. And this is something that the Redmi Note series has always been known for. We've broken that entire segment time and again in terms of how the Redmi Note has performed. And of course, talking about that, let's get into the performance part. And this, of course, is, we know, incredibly important to all our Mi fans. Right? No? Okay, so before I get into the performance part of it, I'll recap. So we talked about this last time as well. When we are selecting a processor, we look at 3 key things. Can it run all the apps and games smoothly? Does it have great thermals? And of course, it's a Note, it has to give great battery life. So for kind of ticking all these boxes, I would like to introduce to you, on the Redmi Note 7 Pro, we are going to use the Qualcomm Snapdragon 625. Okay. So we really wanted to. Obviously, 625 has been Manu's favorite processor for 2 years. Unfortunately, a couple of weeks back, we had a little incident. In Andhra Pradesh, one truck, which was surprisingly carrying all our 625 chips, got stolen. So because we lost all our 625s, with the Redmi Note 7, we are bringing in an all-new processor. This processor is absolutely amazing. On Antutu, this clocks in at a whopping 1.8. Trust me, nobody has seen a performance like this in this segment before. In fact, when we compared the Redmi Note 7 Pro with the previous generation Redmi Note 6 Pro, we have 155% the performance of the predecessor. It's a massive jump. Not just from a benchmark score perspective. We tested it time and again internally. Almost everything that you run runs a lot faster. You see faster web browsing, game launches, social media launches, almost everything is much, much faster on the Note 7 Pro. So these were benchmarks and these were comparisons. So we decided to go a step further. And we said, let's compare it with some really powerful devices out there. And where does it stand? So we decided to compare it with the Qualcomm 710. And versus the 710, the Redmi Note 7 Pro is almost 17% faster. There's another 710, which is not actually the real one. That obviously is much slower, but we'll get to that a little later. So, what we did was, this was Antutu. How about some other tests? like single core tests and multi-core tests. So we also went to Geekbench and looked at that. So both single core, multi-core, of course you've seen Antutu, it turned out to be the fastest device that was there. And of course we've seen the Oppo R17 Pro that does run Snapdragon 710 retails for about 46,000 rupees. And the Note 7 Pro beats it by a healthy margin. Why is that? Because the Redmi Note 7 Pro's processor uses the latest Cryo 460 architecture. Now this uses the same ARM A76 cores as the Qualcomm Snapdragon 855. It is a truly powerful chip. And this chip that we're using on the Redmi Note 7 Pro is none other than an absolute phenomenal chip running on the Cryo 460 architecture. It's an 11 nanometer FinFET process. So it's not just more powerful, but it's also a lot more efficient. And yes, it is an octa-core chip. We got to dive a little deeper. Okay. Now, as you saw, the Qualcomm Snapdragon 675 is an 11 nanometer, based on 11 nanometer FinFET technology. It uses the latest Cryo 460 architecture, and it is an 8-core processor. With the 11 nanometer chipset or the process technology, you get better thermal, you get better power consumption, and because of all of this, you're able to push the entire performance to a whole new level on the 675. Not just that, when we dive a little deeper to find out why it's so powerful, let's look at how the CPU works. And in the Cryo 460 CPU, you've got 2 gold cores running ARM's A76. Now these are super performance cores. And then along with that, you've got 6 silver cores which run on ARM's A55 architecture. Now both of these are powerful, but the gold cores do the major heavy lifting. So all your games, all your heavy 3D applications are in the gold cores, while the silver ones are for your day-to-day performance. So whether it's social media apps, whether you're listening to music, whether you're browsing, these silver cores step in there. But not just that. Obviously, we are also interested in gaming. And there we've got an all-new Adreno 612 GPU. And this GPU, when combined with the gold cores of the Cryo 460 CPU, take gaming all the way to the next level. Lesser frame drops, but also an overall smoother gameplay. It's absolutely amazing, and we've tested this amongst all the latest games. A few of us got chicken dinners as well. The next part of this amazing chip is the Spectra ISP. Now this obviously is incredibly important because this has been engineered to support a 48 megapixel camera, right? And of course, you remember our tagline. Not just the 48 MP camera, but it also has better depth sensing, and a hint for a later slide, it also supports 4K video capture. And the last part that I want to talk about here is it comes with an all-new DSP, the Hexagon 685, which has much better AI processing, and hence that also adds further to your camera experience. Overall, this makes the Snapdragon 675 SoC, which is, as you saw, really powerful. And I'll just move to the next one. And we've combined this with up to 6 GB of LPDDR4X. Now we know LPDDR4X is the fastest RAM available for mobile phones right now, and you get that on the Note 7 Pro. Not just that, but for the first time ever on a Redmi Note series, we are also introducing a 128 GB storage variant. Now, you combine this, you've got a super powerful Cryo 460 CPU, an all-new Adreno 612 GPU, and up to 6 GB of DDR4X RAM. You've got an amazing gaming machine right in your hands. But that's the hardware part. We've also made optimizations when it comes to software. In fact, we are running MIUI 10 based on Android Pie, and from a performance point alone, there are more than 20 different optimizations that have been done. But just to highlight a few, from a lock-free critical path and code-dependent prioritization, it's able to run everything a lot more smoothly and push this entire system to a whole new level. Now, it is a Note, and you've got so much power, so it has to have a noteworthy battery. And the Note 7 Pro comes with a 4000 mAh battery that easily lasts you 2 days on a single charge. And when you deep dive, it's almost 45 hours of 4G calling time if you were to call someone that long. Or what's really important, and what I really care about as well, about 8.5 hours of gaming. Now this is absolutely incredible. Now this is a big battery and it's a powerful phone,